Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Office Bloke Aidan.
I'm G.
I'm Sophie.
And today we've got the don'ts of visiting the USA.
In case you want to go back, Gaynor.
Well,
When you lived there, was any don'ts that you remember? Something like you just couldn't do? Or that you wouldn't do?
do you know what I didn't do?
What did you not do? Tell us.
Well, I used to do it when I first arrived, and then I was
Ooh.
told not to do it.
Oh really?
And that was cross the road when the light was on red. It's called, and in America it's called jaywalking, and it's
Jaywalking.
illegal.
It's illegal?
Yeah.
What you like?
You
The
get in
police lots
trouble.
people.
Yeah, you
Come
get in
and get
trouble.
you.
Yeah. But I mean, it wasn't very often that you could look left and right and then cross because it was so busy anyway.
Yeah.
Mm.
What were you doing then? Just start jumping between cars, stop, start.
But yeah, that was one of them that you weren't supposed to do.
No.
Interesting.
I guess we'll find out
yeah,
more
can't
anyway.
think of anything else.
Just
Off
keep
the
it in
top
mind
of
for
my
next
head.
time you go back.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Walter's World, and today we're in Mystic, Connecticut, at a beautiful place here in the U.S. And today what we have for you are the don'ts of visiting the U.S. because anywhere you go in the world, there's things you should do, but there's also things you shouldn't do. And this video is going to just cover the U.S. in general, okay? And our first don't for when you visit the U.S. is don't touch the Americans. Look, Americans really like their personal space. It's like they have a bubble around them, and if you get too close to them, they feel very, 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 very uncomfortable, okay? So make sure you give them a little distance when you are there, you know, because I know when I go to Italy and Spain and stuff, we're like, Mark, how's it going, all this stuff, and my American friends sometimes go, wow, they're really, really affectionate. Like, that's just how it is. Here, space is key. The second don't I have for you is don't count on public transportation. Look, when we were in China and we were throughout Europe and South America, we took buses and trains and planes and all kinds of stuff to get all over the place because public transport is really developed. Here in the U.S., you cannot count on public transport to get you a lot of places. Yes, in big cities like New York and Chicago and stuff like that, you can get around with public transport and it'll take you where you want to go. But a lot of towns, small towns especially, and middle-sized cities, the public transportation networks are not very good. And at night, sometimes it's not very safe. So that is kind of a frustrating thing. So yes, you're going to probably have to rent a car when you come here, okay? So just have a heads up for that. And that kind of leads into the next don't I have for you is don't underestimate the size of the U.S. The United States, it's, continental U.S. is like continental Europe. It's huge. I mean, would you think of driving from, I'm going to do, from Lisbon to Paris and then go up to Tallinn and then head down to Sofia? No, you're like, that is insanely far. It's the same thing when you come to the U.S. I meet a lot of travelers that are like, I'm going to fly into New York, grab a car, drive down to Miami to see Miami Beach, and then head over to L.A. I'm like, dude, you got 2 weeks? You're going to spend the entire time in cars. The distances here are insane. So what I recommend is picking a region. So, we're going to stay here in New England and see New England. Or we're going to go in the southeast, go to Atlanta and Savannah and Charleston, things like that, or visit the West Coast. You do that to get a better idea of the culture there and things like that. But also, it's just the logistics things because it's so far between the places. And to go along with that, for Americans, a 3 to 4 hour drive, that's a day trip. Like my parents live 3 hours away. I will literally get up, go drive, have lunch with my mom, and then drive back home just for lunch. 6 hours in the car. No big deal. It's about 7 hours when we start to think, that kind of is a long drive. And we drive the entire way through. Okay, this isn't like, I must stop every 2 hours and have a 15-minute break. Oh, no. No. We drive all the way through, okay? Now, my next don't for you when you come here is don't think that the sticker price is the end price. Look, in the U.S., we have sales tax. I know other countries, they have VAT, value-added taxes. They're already put into the price of products. So when you see, it's $1 or €1, I only pay €1. In the U.S., it is not like that. We have sales tax, so a certain percentage is added onto that product. And the thing is, I cannot tell you what the sales tax will be where you're going to travel because it's different everywhere. Cities, states, counties, different products have different sales taxes, and some products don't have sales taxes. Some cities don't have sales taxes. Some have 10% sales tax. It can be different anywhere you go. So if you're going to go get your dollar menu item at a McDonald's or a Culver's or a wherever, it's not going to be $1. Where I live, there's 2 cities right by where I live. One, it's going to be $1.08. The other one, it's going to be $1.09. So be ready for that. And it's not just the sales tax. Also, there could be the tipping on top. And that leads us into the fifth don't, and that is don't forget to tip.
Do you tip in supermarkets?
No. Oh no, actually, yeah, you can tip like the person that bags your groceries up for you.
Really?
Oh. Did you do that?
That's quite interesting.
I
that.
think I did, and also sometimes they'd push the shopping cart to your car and load everything into the back of your car for you, and then you'd tip them for that.
Oh, I guess you would, to be fair, but you wouldn't catch anyone doing that over here.
No, I'd be like, get away from my stuff. Like, I need my my personal space. Like, really, even worse. I think.
Yeah. Do you not remember when we lived in the Middle East as well? There'd be people that would hang around outside and follow you back to your car, and then when you loaded everything into the back of your car, they would say, "Do you want me to take your cart back?" Because they would then get you have to put like a pound or what's it?
A dirham.
A dirham. So they would then take your cart back for you, so that they would get that because it was so hot. Half the time you'd go, just take it.
Yeah.
That's the way for them to earn money. But if you wanted extra money, then they'd walk with you, and then they load everything into the car for you while you sat in the car in the cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Look, in the U.S., you tip 15 to 20% at a sit-down restaurant, okay? Now, McDonald's, stuff like that, no, you don't tip at a fast food place. But if it's a sit-down restaurant where they bring you your food and stuff like that, you will tip them 15 to 20%. If you are in a group of 6 people or more, sometimes they automatically put the gratuity on there, which sometimes can be 18% or something like that. Look, when you come to the U.S., there's a reason why the food is like so affordable. You're like, wow, it's cheap to go out and eat in the U.S. It's because there's kind of this understanding that the service fees and paying for the workers and the waitresses and stuff like that, that goes on to you, the person eating there, with the tips. So the food and stuff can be cheaper when you go out to eat. And I know a lot of people say, I don't believe in tipping, and this tipping isn't the right thing. They should pay their people more. Well, if you want to pay more for your food, they can do that. But they don't, okay? So tipping is something we do here in the U.S., so do tip that 15 to 20%. Oh, also, if you're at a bar and you're buying drinks, you're going to want to tip a couple dollars here and there. Otherwise, the bartender might not be too quick to come back and get you your next drink. So following off of those tips, what you need to realize is our next don't is don't be freaked out.
That's something that Dad does over here.
I was going to say, Darren does that, doesn't he?
He just knows his way to get served so
He goes around and gives them like, $20 or £20 or whatever, and says, when you see me, serve me, and at the end you'll give him some more to make sure he gets served.
I remember him telling a story when he
it.
walked into an American restaurant in America, and he just, the first person, like the first waiter he saw, he just gave him $20 and said, look after me tonight and I'll give you more at the end.
Yeah.
It's an incentive though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, people want money, so
They're going to do it, aren't they?
Yeah.
By the over-the-top service and free stuff you sometimes get in the U.S. Look, because of tipping and commissions and stuff like that, yes, there is a lot of over-the-top service here. But the thing is, in the U.S., the people actually are pretty nice, and they want to help people. And sometimes for some travelers, if they come from countries where people don't get a lot of service sometimes, it can be a bit much, so don't freak out about it. Also with that is don't be freaked out with some of the free stuff you get when you go to restaurants. Look, if you go to a restaurant and they bring you bread and water or chips and salsa and all those really good things, that's included in your meal. Okay, so if you're going to be buying something, they're going to give you some free stuff. It might be some bread, it might be a salad, it might be a water, it might be something like that. So don't be like shocked when like, wait, I didn't order this bread, I didn't order this salad. Oh no, that comes with your meal, okay? Now the thing is though, you can't just go in and get chips and salsa and walk out, all right? You actually have to order some food when you go there. Now my next don't for you is don't smoke cigarettes in the U.S. If you're smoking cigarettes in the U.S., people will look at you like you're trying to kill their baby. Cigarettes is like totally verboten, like people really frown upon it, which is funny because when they talk about marijuana and stuff like that, people don't seem to care as much, but cigarettes, oh, you're trying to kill my baby with that cigarette 2 blocks away. So if you do smoke, make sure you try to find a place where you can smoke because a lot of restaurants are...
So with like smoking and stuff, like we banned it about 15 years ago now-ish. Like inside, so you can't smoke inside like public spaces. When did they do it in the US? Can you remember?
I think he's referring to if you were outside and you were smoking. And
there'd be a problem.
Yeah.
But like inside, obviously, so inside they definitely can't. Obviously, over there as well.
No, you can't smoke. Definitely can't smoke inside.
But did they?
But wait, how long ago did they ban it from doing it inside? Like, was it before a lot earlier than we did?
When I arrived, you weren't allowed to smoke inside.
Really?
So
that was in
over 95, 96.
Wow.
Almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Whereas over here it was about 2008, 2007, 2008. Because I remember as a kid going in.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
No, because I remember going like as a kid, you'd go into like like the function rooms, like party rooms,
Yeah.
and you'd just come out stinking,
yeah.
and like your clothes, your hair, everything. You'd have to have a shower when you got in as a kid because you'd just stink of smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they could just obviously smoke in the pubs.
And also everybody's house had yellow walls because everybody would smoke inside.
Yeah. It's not good, is it?
No,
It's
I don't
actually
think
better.
it's-
I remember seeing a lady and she had this badge on and it said, "You smoke, I choke."
Oh my god.
Oh God.
I don't
It's like,
see it as much of a problem if you're doing it outside.
No,
But the
because
thing
outside
is,
you-
if you
it's
had a
fresh air,
baby
isn't
in
it?
a pram and then somebody was, sat next to you on the bench and they were smoking, you can smell it and you don't want it near your baby.
I'll just move.
No,
Yeah, I just.
I'm outside, it's not like I'm trapped in a small space.
Yeah.
no, but it's a respect thing. You don't smoke near other people. Go
Yeah,
stand
fair
over
enough,
there.
fair enough. If you're like standing next to a baby and smoking it near their face, then that's a big no.
Yeah,
But like
Yeah.
if you're just outside smoking and people giving you dirty looks, that would annoy me
Yeah.
if I smoked.
because where else can you smoke? Like you can't smoke inside anymore.
Exactly.
So
No,
you have to
it
go
means you
outside.
have
So no, I just
you
can't do it at all.
No, you have to move away from where people are. Go stand in the woods somewhere.
Yeah, go to like dark alley.
Yeah, go on a hike to have one cigarette.
Or don't
Pretty much all
smoke.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
True.
but some people can't do that.
No.
Restaurants, hotels, stuff like that have smoke-free. It's smoke-free, so you have to go like 15 to 20 feet away from doing things, so that can be something. So I've come here outside my favorite liquor store to give you the next don't, and that is don't try to buy alcohol unless you're 21 or cigarettes unless you're 18 or over in the US. They will not sell them to you. And the thing is, don't forget your ID, because if you look like you're 40 or under, they may ask you for that, and don't get mad at them because if they don't ask,
They will still ask if you're 40.
If you look 40. If you look 40. What did I just say there? 40.
No,
No,
yeah.
I'm saying even if you're 40 and you actually still look about 40, would they still actually ask for your ID?
I think he was being.
Because I don't get asked for ID anywhere really now.
So I got asked.
You
For,
don't?
No.
I got asked for ID 3 years ago.
Yeah.
You know why?
Because you had your mask
I
on.
had my mask on
Yeah.
and I was buying alcohol in the supermarket, and she said to me, "Can you just pull your mask down?" And I went, "Sorry? She went, can you just
Like
pull
it's
your
creepy,
mask down?"
like that.
And I went, and she went, "I just needed to check." I said, "You seriously think that I am under 25 with these eyes?"
No.
It's not even under, it's like, I mean, I know you have to look over 25 to be able to buy it, but
Yeah.
I go to like the co-op and I'll buy alcohol and I
Yeah.
don't get ID'd. So they think I look over 25, which they don't. They just know,
They just
that
know
I'm
you're not
not
underage,
17 or younger.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it depends as a girl like how dressed up you are. Like if I go into like Tesco or whatever and I'm like fully dressed up, ready to go on my night out, I'll always get ID'd. But if I just go like this, they wouldn't ID me.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know what do you
Yeah.
know what the funniest thing is? I was in town with my girlfriend and we went to a shop and ended up bought alcohol at the shop. And when we were both at the counter, he said, "Can I see your ID?"
Yeah.
I went to get my ID out. He was like, "Nah, not you, mate. Not you, mate. Just her. Just her." And I looked at him and I was like, "Right, what do you think I am?" Type thing. And he was like, "Oh, mate, all these girls can be looking 26, but they're actually 12." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're not wrong, mate."
You don't know nowadays. Exactly.
they could get in trouble and get fined. So don't be surprised, because we've had friends that have come here, tried to buy alcohol, and they're like, "Sorry, you don't look old enough." "Oh, I don't have my ID." "Too bad." And the thing is, it's not just the person buying. They might ask anybody with you, so make sure everybody has their ID if they want to buy liquor, or they want to buy alcohol, or if they want to buy cigarettes. So just FYI on that one. Oh, that's also another don't I have for you is don't bother with a metric system when you come here. We don't use meters, we don't use kilometers, we don't use liters. It is inches, feet, miles, gallons, pounds, things like that. And I'll put a conversion chart here to show you, but honestly, you may say, "Hey, how far is it to this next town?" And they'll tell you, "Oh, it's like 60 miles. You're like, "What's that?" Just know 60 miles, it's about 100 kilometers, okay? So just do that, because the people here won't get it. I mean, I have people, when I'll tell them, "Oh, it's 100 meters away," they're like, 100 meters? It's like 100 yards. "Oh, okay." So make sure you do know your imperial system, okay? Because metric, we don't do that so much.
Surely Americans would know about like how far 100 meters is, because even in their like Olympics, it's the 100-meter race.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking it's still the same in America. Like you would have a 100-meter race. I don't think they call it a 100-yard race.
No, they don't.
So
Makes
so they
sense.
kind of do use it to a certain point.
Within sport.
Well, all those ones that we're saying, we use miles. We don't use kilometres. We use
I was thinking
miles.
that.
We do
Yeah.
use miles, so not all the time. Like if I went onto my sat nav and typed in going to Birmingham, it would say 80 odd kilometres.
Mine says miles.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I can't work in like kilometres. It has to be miles.
Wow.
Yeah, and pounds and ounces. Like I know, a cup of coffee, a normal like cup of coffee is like 8 ounces.
To be fair, when I go to the gym, I look at like there's two measurements. One's pounds and one's
Kilos.
kilograms, and I
Yeah.
normally look at the pounds, to be honest with you, because
Yeah,
it's
I
just
do.
a bit easier.
Because that's how
It
much
just
like
makes more sense.
we'd weigh ourselves in like pounds, wouldn't we? In stone and pounds.
Stone and
I
pounds.
would weigh
Yeah.
myself in stone and kilos.
No, because you would have pounds, which it's stones and pounds. So it would be like you would weigh 10 stone, 11 pounds.
Oh right, yeah, no, I get that. I
Yeah.
thought you meant like you know your weight in stone and then you know your
Oh,
weight
and then
in
pounds. No, yeah.
I only know my weight in stone and my weight in kilograms.
Yeah, I don't want to know me weight in anything.
So much here. So our next stone is when you do come to the U.S., there's a couple things you don't talk about, okay? One is gun control, and two is politics, because no matter where you are, you will get people on either side of the spectrum, and they will have an argument with you. So it's best just to lay off those topics, talk about the weather. Oh, wouldn't it be nicer if it was sunny today and we could go sailing? Yes, that would be much better than discussing gun control or politics. Just putting that one out there for you right now. Now, my next note for you is don't assume that all the U.S. and all the Americans are the same. Because I know a lot of people say, oh, you're a typical American. Well, it's like saying you're a typical European. Look, the U.S. has all kinds of different cultures, all kinds of different people, all kinds of different topography and scenery and stuff like that. And when you come here, don't assume it's all the same. You will see regional differences in cuisines and how people treat each other and how everything looks, all kinds of stuff. So don't just think there's just one kind of American. They're all fat, slobby guys with ponytails. No, there's actually a lot of skinny people in America too, not just fat guys like me and my buddy Jeff. There are those. So don't assume it's all the same, all right? So do go out and explore. And that's why I always say is if you're going to come to the U.S., go and explore different regions because you'll get a really different feel. Because going to the southeast and seeing the plantation homes and going to see the southern towns down there versus going to the northwest and Seattle and Portland or going to San Francisco or going to the Midwest with Chicago and Milwaukee, you're going to have a very different feel, which is really a cool thing to do. And you start to understand is, wow, the U.S. does have a lot of different cultures within it, a lot of different feelings when you go around here. And following on with that, I guess I would say another don't assume there's no culture in the U.S. because there are a lot of cultural centers out there. If you go down to New Orleans, you see a very rich culture there. You go to New York or Boston. Here in New England, you have a very distinct culture. In the Midwest with Chicago, Milwaukee, you go to the West Coast. I mean, there's a lot of different culture here. Historic culture with the Native Americans or more recent culture here. I mean, you have all that here you can really take in. And saying there's no culture in the U.S., it's not really true because there are all these different cultural centers with great museums like the Art Institute of Chicago or the Met in New York, the Getty in LA. There's all kinds of stuff you can see and do when you are here. For a cultural trip, it's not just seeing beautiful landscapes and seascapes like we are here in Connecticut. There's a lot more to it than that. Now, my next stone for you is one that I kind of get a lot of questions about. We actually have a video on this, and then that is, don't think that how are you or how's it going is actually a question. Look, when we say how's it going, how are you, these kind of things in the U.S., it's not a question, it's a statement. It's like saying hi. Okay, just take it as a hi. Because a lot of people say this, everyone asks me how I'm doing. When I try to tell them how I'm feeling, they're like, well, I was just saying how are you. Here, how are you is just hi. Think of it that way. It's like in France, ça va, ça va. How's it going? How's it going? We're good to go. In Portuguese, tudo bem, everything.
So it's like in New York, it's like, what was it, how did they say in New York?
How you doing?
How you doing? Yeah. And I would answer, oh, today, I'm not too bad today. And they'd look at me like, well, no,
No,
I
it
don't
is.
really want to know.
That happens here, to be fair, as
I was
well.
going to say over here it's a big thing. Like I'd be like, you're right.
You're all right.
We won't say how you doing. We'd say you're right.
Yeah.
But
We're not actually asking if you're all right.
No.
Yeah. Just acknowledging your presence.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's polite.
Yeah.
Everything good? You answer back, tudo bem, everything good. It's just, how are you? How are you? You move on, okay? So don't think it's an actual question, all right? Now, another don't I have for you is don't expect a lot at the fancy hotels. You know, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to pay more money for this hotel. I'm probably going to get nicer stuff, like a nicer breakfast, better Wi-Fi. Oh, no, 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 no. For some reason in the U.S., it seems like the nicer the hotel, the more you have to pay for the things you think would be free, like Wi-Fi and breakfast. So don't feel like you have to stay at the fancy hotels, because honestly, if you're going to be going out and exploring, you just need a couple beds, right? So stay at the hotels in the U.S., and the cheaper ones will give you free Wi-Fi, free breakfast, all these kind of things, which is really nice, so don't expect that from the fancy hotels. Another...
Did you see that statement then? Don't be surprised if your hotel doesn't have a 13th floor.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's like a bad luck thing.
Oh.
It might be.
Because I have been in hotels where it doesn't have a 13th floor. And I wonder if it's like a...
What, it just
Yeah.
goes from 12 to 14?
yeah,
Like a superstition thing.
superstitious thing.
But I mean, technically, the 14th floor would then be the 13th floor.
Yeah, then the
They're
14th
just not
floor suddenly
calling
all
it.
unlucky.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, I have noticed that.
Mm.
The don't I have for you is don't skip out on the local food. Look, we're here in New England. We're here in Connecticut. We've been having lobster and clams and, oh my God, New England clam chowder. Oh, my tummy is just like, more. It's fantastic. When I'm in the South, man, Southern fried chicken, mac and cheese, barbecue. Oh my God. The food in the different regions in the U.S. are great. So don't just go to chain restaurants. When you go to your hotel, ask them, hey, what's some local restaurants around here? What's some locally owned and operated restaurants, so you can go there and check out those places, because they really give you a great experience. And I find a lot of times those ones actually have better service than the chain restaurants, because it's a mom and pop place where the owner is the ones helping you out, and that is really kind of a cool thing. Now, my next don't for you is don't get sick. Look. Healthcare in the U.S. is insanely expensive. And just because you come from another country doesn't mean they're not going to find you for the bill. All right? So if you're going to be coming here, make sure you get travel insurance or trip insurance, so in case you do get sick, or you do break an ankle, or you do break an arm, or something happens to you, your insurance will cover it. Now, you might have to pay it first and your insurance pays you back, but at least you'll get something back, because healthcare here in the U.S. is insanely expensive, okay? So make sure you're prepared for that. And I guess my last don't I'm going to have for you is one that people actually got mad at me for when I lived in other countries, when I told them the U.S. has 50 states. And they said, no, the U.S. has 52 states. Look, don't think the U.S. has 52 states. The U.S. has 50 states, okay? Just a heads up on that one. I'm sure that people are going to be commenting down below that when I was in school, they told me 52. No, there's 48 on the mainland, and then Alaska and Hawaii are 49 and 50, all right? So those are our don'ts for visiting the U.S. What are some of the don'ts you have for the U.S.? Because I know there's more out there. I just want to get some of these out there to help out travelers heading to the U.S., just so we can get things going. Anyway, if you like videos like this, we have stuff on what the don'ts of going to Russia, the don'ts of going to Germany, the don'ts of going to Brazil and things like that. And we
Very interesting.
It is.
A lot of the stuff I did already know, but it's very interesting to see.
Yeah, there's a couple one that surprises you though.
Mm.
Like, I forgot.
Smoking
It was
was
a-
the priority.
Yeah, that got you back up a bit, the smoking one.
What was it? When you go into a liquor store and you still look about 40 years old,
Okay.
but you still can't get served because you don't have an ID.
Yeah.
Even though it's very clear you're over the age of 21.
Exactly, yeah.
That baffles me a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, interesting video nonetheless.
Yes.
If you guys enjoyed the video, please hit that like button and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.